Well, good morning, Treasure Pirate here, and as promised, this is all the stuff from my haul. I went to 2 jumble sales, kind of a bit out in the sticks, but some rather nice posh villages that I couldn't afford to live in, but hey, so what. But they had the most marvellous jumble sales, and I thought I'd give it a whirl. It did entail standing outside in freezing weather waiting to go in, but it's well worth doing. I had a far bigger haul than I expected, because I'm not short of stock by any means. Before I do start on the haul though, I have to mention these. They're in Home Bargains, and they are long socks, because these saved my bacon yesterday. They're sort of long socks like this, but they've got the softest, fleeciest stuff inside, and my God, they make a difference when you're stood out in the cold weather. So I can highly recommend these. They're about £1 each, something stupid like that, in Home Bargains. Go and grab, because if you've got a standing in the cold boot fair, that's quite a good way to keep your toes toasty. So, right, where do I start? Well, I've slightly mixed up what's gone with what now, but I do sort of remember the prices. The first thing I have to show you is the very first thing I picked up. Excuse the bedroom. My husband's in the office room, so I'm here. This. Oh no, not this one. The same thing again. Let's do this one. First one I picked up. Can you spot the theme here? Men's coats. Because all the ladies really dash for the ladies, and I tend to go to the men's bit first in the jumble sale. This has a velvet collar, and it's a very nice long coat. Now what I saw more than the coat was the label, because if you ever see this, I would say definitely grab it. This is Ede and Ravenscroft. I know these because they do silk scarves and things for men too. Very posh high-end brand. And this is sort of like a, it's of a suiting material, but it's like an overcoat. And now this one unfortunately does have a slight rip on the pocket that I need to repair, and the lining is very much gone. Someone had this and really didn't look after it. Coats like these cost hundreds of pounds new, so it might be that somebody might want to get it, get the lining redone. But I paid £1 for it, so whatever I sell it for, however little I sell it for, I'm going to be in profit, and I'm sure that somebody will probably spend the money having the lining repaired. I'll look into whether it's worth me doing that, although I suspect it isn't. So that was a nice men's one. That was £1. Next one, which I was going to show you, this was also £1. Again, it's one of these suiting material with proper cuffs and everything, but a long jacket. This one is by another thing that is always good to look out for, Canali. They're high quality wool. It's made in Italy, which is known as a very good source of wool. This is a bigger size as well, and it's got a kind of a stripe. You probably can't see in this light. Got a kind of stripe running through it. Again, this was £1. I haven't had time to do the research on all this stuff, but I'm guessing there's certainly money in that. Possibly £100. So that kind of pays for my entire trip, because everything I'm going to show you today came in at about £20. Everything. So I am so going to go to jumbles in the future. It's worth doing. I drove halfway across Kent and Sussex to get to them, but my God, worth it. Next one, the old classic, the sheepskin number. Very Del Boy car coat. I wasn't sure if this was real sheepskin, but when I looked inside, because it's not as heavy as some of them, and it is quite a small size, but it's double-breasted. It's somewhat faded. The original would have been much darker brown, but you know, if you have a look inside, the labels will tell you this is made by somebody called Peter Robinson. It's only a 38, so this is possibly going to fit a lady rather than a man, or a small chap. And of course the lovely giveaway, Richard Draper, and it's telling me there that it's from Glastonbury, Somerset, one of my favourite places, and it's real sheepskin and pure new wool. Again, £1, so yes. Whether I get it listed today, which I really need to if anyone's going to buy it at this time of year, or whether it has to be, it's scuffed up, whether it has to be put away, For next year, who knows? But with the winter that looks like it's on its way, I'm getting that listed. Excuse the fog in my throat. Okay. I think this is more ladies now. This is, okay, I don't normally dash for anything by New Look, but this is leather. It's kind of like a suede leather. It's a very distressed little biker jacket. Far too small for me, more's the pity, because I would have had that. But at £1, I wasn't really going to argue. It does look like it's been hardly worn, and it's in very nice condition. I love biker jackets with the zips. So I think that's a 10. Oh, I make it awkward, don't I? It's going to be something like a 10, which is far too teensy for me. Yep, UK 10. But biker jackets never go out of fashion, ever. There are always people that will want them. I hit the men's store first. Who knew that so many people wore Levi's? They do. And at £1 a piece, I was snapping those up because they sell fast. So we got some 505s. I think 505s are the ones that have, yeah, a bit of stretching. So anyway, I've got to do research as to exactly which ones. So I've got a 505. These are in a reasonable size, 33 wide and 34 long. So nice for the taller people. There was someone tall who was getting rid of their stuff. We got 505s again. I will double check all these to make sure they're real, but they feel it. They've got the quality feel. These again were 34 long, and they're in a grey, and they look like they've been hardly worn. And once again, these are 514s. 514s I think are the stretchy ones. I'm pretty sure there's some of them that are. But these are 34. They don't look quite 34 long, but maybe that's just me. But they're more of a sort of straight leg style, maybe boot cut. I'm going to have to do my measurements. I always give exact measurements on jeans because they tend to shrink. What they do is they tend to go wider and shorter. And if you're somebody tall looking for jeans, that's annoying. Another pair of 514s. Again, 33, 34. They are just fantastic. And at £1 a go, I don't mind pitching my price a bit lower than perhaps I normally would have done, just to get them gone. So 4 pairs of jeans, which impressed me. I was quite pleased with that. It's just one of those things. Look, I don't have to bear with me while I'm doing all that. Let me just shove that over there. Okay. Now this was a find. Not only is it in what is now considered to be a fairly fashionable having the check, it's Ted Baker. Now I do see these in the charity shops, and because they know Ted Baker, they make stupid prices on them. Not just the jacket, the trousers as well. Can you guess what it cost me? £1. Dear God. I just don't know what to say when things like that come up. It's obviously genuine. You know, you've got things like the logos. Now with Ted Baker, you get Ted Baker Endurance, and it will say Endurance clearly, and I think they're worth slightly more than the regular Ted Baker, but this is 100% pure wool. It's quite lightweight, so it's going to be really good for spring, and it's got the most amazing purple lining, and there's not a thing wrong with it. I mean, if I didn't know better, I'd say it's probably worn once or twice, maximum. Excuse the voice going. Probably getting the lurgy again, as we all do. Yeah, things that look like ski jackets I keep an eye out for, especially a bigger size. This, oh, sorry, I'm not going to show you now, I think a bit of a daisy now. This was not a heavyweight one, quite decent colours. The zip works, always check the zip. It's got features all over the place. For some reason it has underarm zips, just in case you get sweaty in the pits perhaps. But it's a fair size. I think it's a ladies one. You know they're proper ski jackets when they've got all this sort of gubbins inside to go around your middle and stop the wind getting up your jumper. This was by a company called Protest, and it's worth looking up, you know, all the specifications. So this is boardwear, Protest air-conditioned boardwear. Perhaps that's the opposite. God only knows. But at £1, can't lose on it. It's got the hood with it, because a lot of the time people will lose their hoods. couple of grubby marks there, but I'm going to have a go at it with some baby wipes. Baby wipes seem to get rid of everything, which is fantastic. Right, some of these didn't cost me £1, but he was literally saying 4 things for £1, so 25p each. As someone who's so used to having to shop in charity shops, I just can't quite believe my luck when I see something like that. But you still have to remain a bit picky on the brands, because otherwise you're doing a lot of work for very little money. This was nice. Sportswear. It's Dunlop, and it's new with its tags. For 25p, Dunlop Sport, size large. I don't know whether it's for golf or... oh, golf, yes, look, there's a man with a golf club. That'll be it then. But this was originally priced at £50 new. Dunlop Windstop top. 40. What's the size 40? So they consider 40 to be large. Okay, well, yeah. And it's got a handy pocket in the front for you to keep your little notepad for your scores, I guess. I know nothing about golf. But that's brand new. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I love it when people donate decent stuff. Oh, these also were around the 25p area. I picked these up and you think, oh my god, swimmies, really? But there's the label that tells you everything you need to know. Gant. There are people who really like Gant. And although these are a bit bashed about, there's nothing wrong with them. And I expect I'll get a few quid for those. Because your profit margins are so good when you're getting things at this price. And it was a fairly civilised affair. I mean, it was a bit like a shark feeding frenzy at the ladies thing where everyone was... But what we did is, I'd have this sort of system. I chatted to quite a lot of people in the queue to start with, which helps with being friendly, etc. And then you just kind of go, shall we swap? Because someone's working their way along, and I'd go the other way and go, oh, should we swap? And just work my way up the row, and that sort of avoided that kind of elbow in the face. Well, I'm too big for an elbow in the face. As anyone who's ever met me will know, I'm far too tall for anyone to do that. However, yeah. Right, now I picked these up because they were so loud. I think there are people who still like loud, but these were actually O'Neill, so I don't think there's much in it. But they were just kind of funky. They're my husband's size, but he recoiled at the idea of wearing anything quite so loud. But there we go, I thought they were a bit funky. They'll make a few quid. Nice lion on them. Can't resist a lion. And surprisingly unspoiled for something that comes in white. Well, I saw this little two-piece set. Tiny little skirt. Small size, plainly. Oh, with some extra fluff. And a little top that goes with it. If you hear noise in the background, my son's having what's known as a Nerf war with 2 of his friends, and it involves a lot of thundering up and down the stairs, firing airsoft darts at each other. So I'm half expecting someone to come flying into the bedroom at any moment. I picked this up partly because it looks like it's never been worn. The ruffle feature on the hems, you know, nice pearl buttons told me it was quality. I do like these sort of mother of pearl buttons, they're sweet. The name sounded familiar, so I think this should do alright. Wealth of Nations. And it's a real summer holiday thing, but, you know, it's that season, so on it will go. I quite like the pin tuck detail as well. This is always a nice feature. And it's actually buttoned down the back, which is cute for someone half my age, quite possibly. And I don't normally go... pardon me, don't normally go for plain stuff. White stuff's a bit of a these days, but they're linen. They had some embroidery on the back. Sorry, that's not the tape, that's me, it's my voice going. Wide leg. Oh dear, wide leg trousers. Yeah, won't go for much, but they're worth doing. Not my size. Oh. What's happened to my voice there? It's very odd. I'll keep going. Maybe it'll just sort itself out. And no, my voice is not breaking. I'm well past the age of puberty, and we'll just leave that one there. Right, here we go. Fred Perry. Yay. This does need a wash. I think it might have landed on the floor at the jumble sale and got a bit grubby. But, you know, that'll wash up quite nicely. That little wreath of laurel leaves Tells you Fred Perry. I don't think it's anything vintage or particularly special, but and someone's obviously had a meal and dropped something there. Nothing that the older OxyClean Lidl's copy won't get out. A little bobbling. I'd say I think that was a 25p job, so here we go. On it goes. Dear oh no. Right, more jeans of course. So this was the other 4 jeans from one place. Rush to the men's. Levi's. 501. No, 510s. Nice big size again. 36, 34 this time. Super, super, super sizing. Absolutely brilliant. Got to be done. These are £1 each again, just like the other ones. Now this is a label I'm not familiar with. This sort of cloth label. But these are 519 slims. So I wasn't too familiar with these. They certainly appear to be genuine. I'm pretty sure they are. But 34, 34 is a very nice size. Tall and not too skinny. Absolutely brilliant. And these ones I think are the same. Yeah, another one the same. 519 slim. These have got a bit more distressing, I would say, on them. But you know, people don't mind. Oh look, someone's had a nice sew up there. I don't know if that's how they're meant to be or if someone's just had a moment. But yeah, they're quite cool. So I can sell Levi's all day. They're very easy to list and there are people that want them. Right, oh gosh, I'm getting there with it. I've raced through, haven't I? But we've all got a lot of work to do and I've got to photograph this flipping lot. I picked these up for me actually. I thought they would suit me. But trundling around Gumtree. I'm normally a fan of things like Rocket Dog and stuff like that. They're not Uggs obviously, but then they're just always fake. Now I don't think these go for much money, but they cost me £1. And they're actually super wide and they're far too big for me. So I will sell them. I'll give them a clean up. I would say that I think they're probably man-made rather than suede, but they feel very suede. They feel rather grubby as well. Hence why I stuck them in an old little spare. But, you know, someone will want them. I had one fail. I picked one jumper up, a merino wool jumper, and I got it back here and looked at it, and yes, it had holes. I think one fail out of this lot is not bad. Oh, no, they're not really. They're not for resale. I do pick up the odd things for myself that I don't include. And there was basically a box full of plushies. I don't tend to do plushies, but I had time for a route round because this was the second jumble sale. And it was a case of, well, donation. Just make a donation. How much are these? Oh, a donation. All right then. I had this chap. He needs some batteries. He does something, presumably. I don't know what he does. But I'll stick some batteries in him and find out. We like Lego anyway, so I doubt he's terribly valuable. And then some funny little ones. I don't think he's worth anything, but I think my son will appreciate him because he's a bit of a fan. It's 2010, it's not old. And it could do with a clean up. Now, I picked this one up. She says... Yes. Really? Come on, girl. Yes. Giggling like she's had one too many sherries. But she comes from... Alright, shush now. Enough. I don't know this. I might have to do some research. Driftwood Bay. Lily's Driftwood Bay? I thought because it had a voice box in it and it might be from some TV show because we don't watch all these anymore. My son's grown out of watching little kid shows. But she was quite cute, so I chucked her in. This one looked quite fun as well. I just thought it looked nice quality in corduroy, and he's Ebu Lobu. It's French, and some of these I'll sort after, but some of them aren't. This whole bag I gave her £2 for it because I thought it was a good cause, and the main reason I wanted them is because, yes, Jellycat. I haven't looked him up to see how rare he is. I'm assuming he's a mouse rather than a rat. He might, well, it's hard to tell, isn't it? I know there are sites for looking these ones up. He's a bit, he could do with a wash, to be fair. He's a little grubby. His whiskers have seen better days. But he might be one that's worth some money. Who knows? He's rather sweet. So I'll grab anything. And I picked this one because I just thought it was hilarious. His label's gone, so I don't know what he is. But he was nicely made. Nice long tail. I don't know. There was something about him that was charming. So I got him. So there we go. That is it. It seemed so much more when I was buying it. I picked up a couple of bits for myself and my husband, but really that was it, and that was about 20 quid for the entire lot. So yes, I'll be very much continuing to try the jumble sales, and when I find ones that are good, you can set up a local alert. We have a thing called Friday Ad where you can set up an alert for jumble sales and boot fairs, and it will then email you when it's been updated and new ones are put on, and then you just put them in the calendar. And of course, once you know the ones that are good, I fully intend to do a lot of them this year. It's nicer than a boot sale. It's indoors. It's warmer. Yeah, that's what goes for it really. I picked up a Boomco firing gun thing for my son. He was very pleased with that because it cost me all of 20p and he couldn't believe it, so he wants to come with me to the next one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I shop alone, you know. I don't take prisoners. So there we go. That's what we've got. I've now got to get it on, especially those big coats, get them listed. I hope you're all having a really good week, that in spite of it being cold, that you're making lots of sales and the ka-chings are coming in, and that you're listing, because that's what we need to be doing. We need to be showing eBay we're active, otherwise it switches off. Or it does in my experience anyway. Who knows? Anyway, have fun, and I will talk to you again. Bye!